For decades, Clayton Moore was more than an actor. He was the embodiment of justice. As the Lone Ranger, he became a symbol of honor and truth for millions of Americans. Yet behind the mask and the legend, Moore lived a life full of hard work, dedication, and quiet devotion to the ideals he portrayed. For years, he remained silent about one of the most important relationships in his life, his partnership with Jay Silverheels, the man who played his loyal companion, Tonto. In the public eye, their bond was legendary, but in private, it was complicated by Hollywood's racial barriers, the pressures of fame, and the demands of a character that had become larger than life. Now, after years of silence, Moore finally spoke the truth about Silverheels, revealing the admiration, respect, and gratitude he had long held inside. From acrobat to cowboy hero. Clayton Moore was born Jack Carlton Moore on September 14, 1914, in Chicago, Illinois. From a young age, he showed a natural athleticism and showmanship that would later define his career. As a teenager, he joined the Flying Bears Trapeze Act, performing as an acrobat. Those years of rigorous training gave him agility, discipline, and the physical confidence needed for action roles. His looks and athletic build opened doors in Hollywood, and by the 1930s, he was working as a stuntman and actor in low-budget westerns and serial films. Though he wasn't yet famous, Moore was building a reputation as a reliable performer who could handle demanding physical roles. His persistence and work ethic eventually led him to the role that would change his life forever. The Lone Ranger. The birth of a legend. In 1949, Moore was cast as the Lone Ranger in the television adaptation of the wildly popular radio show. His deep voice, strong presence, and noble demeanor made him a perfect fit for the role. Riding the white stallion Silver and accompanied by Tonto, played by Jay Silverheels, Moore brought the masked Texas Ranger to life in a way that captured the hearts of millions. The show's catchphrases, "Hi-yo, Silver," "Away," and "Who was that masked man?" entered American pop culture and became instantly recognizable. Moore played the Lone Ranger from 1949 to 1951, and again from 1954 to 1957 after a brief contract dispute. Even after the show ended, he continued to wear the mask in public, believing that the character was not just a role, but a moral mission. A hero beyond the screen. Moore's fame did not limit him to the Lone Ranger alone. In 1952, he guest starred on The Adventures of Kit Carson and later appeared on The Range Rider. Even when he wasn't wearing the mask, his presence carried the same noble energy, making it hard for audiences to separate him from his most famous character. The Lone Ranger series also expanded into film, with Moore and Silverheels starring in 2 feature films, The Lone Ranger, 1956, and The Lone Ranger and the Lost City of Gold, 1958. These films elevated the story beyond simple Western shootouts, tackling themes of justice and prejudice. Moore remained faithful to the character's ideals, while Silverheels brought dignity and authenticity to Tonto, a rare example of respectful Native American representation at the time. A life of public appearances. After the television series ended, Moore dedicated himself to preserving the legacy of the Lone Ranger for the next 40 years. He traveled across the country making personal appearances at rodeos, parades, schools, and hospitals, always wearing the mask. He became a symbol of virtue and loyalty, not just on screen, but in real life. Moore also briefly promoted a chain of Lone Ranger restaurants in Southern California, an example of how powerful the brand had become. Even as years passed, he continued to appear on television and in commercials, keeping the character alive for new generations. His dedication to the Lone Ranger was more than nostalgia. It was a lifelong mission to represent truth and justice. The bond with Silverheels. During the early 1960s, Jay Silverheels occasionally joined Moore for public appearances, giving fans a chance to see the iconic duo together again. Moore often spoke with admiration for Silverheels, describing him as a man of quiet strength and deep integrity. Their relationship on screen was groundbreaking, a partnership between a heroic White Ranger and a Native American companion, portrayed with mutual respect rather than stereotype. In private, Moore respected Silverheels as a pioneer, one of the few Indigenous actors to find mainstream success in Hollywood. But despite the closeness of their characters, Moore rarely spoke publicly about Silverheels, choosing to let the work speak for itself. The Christmas Story that became a legend. One of the most enduring tales about Moore's life after the Lone Ranger comes from comedian Jay Thomas. From 2000 to 2015, Thomas shared the same story every Christmas on The Late Show with David Letterman. In the 1970s, Thomas was a radio DJ in North Carolina and hosted a car dealership event where Moore appeared in full costume. After the event, Moore had no ride back to his hotel, so Thomas offered to drive him. While on the road, a reckless driver hit Thomas's car and tried to flee. Thomas chased him, catching him in a parking lot. When the man claimed no one would believe the story, Moore stepped out in full Lone Ranger attire and declared, "They'll believe me, citizen." The line, delivered with perfect authority, ended the confrontation instantly. The story became a beloved holiday tradition, showing how Moore truly lived his role. A new chapter in Minnesota. In 1964, Moore chose a quieter life away from Hollywood. He moved with his wife Clarita and their daughter to Golden Valley, Minnesota, seeking peace and family stability. The move also brought him closer to Clarita's family and offered a new environment for raising their child. Instead of retiring, Moore reinvented himself as a businessman. He obtained a Minnesota real estate license and launched a firm called Ranger Realty. True to his character, he aimed to bring integrity and honesty to his new work. Moore invested in property development and helped shape communities near Minneapolis. His most notable contribution was the development of land near the future Interstate 394 corridor. His work earned him respect locally, proving he could succeed outside of the spotlight. Breaking the silence. The truth about Jay Silverheels. For years, Moore remained silent about his relationship with Jay Silverheels, avoiding public discussion about the man who stood beside him as Tonto. But later in life, he finally opened up in a rare interview. He spoke with deep admiration and respect, describing Silverheels as a man of dignity and strength. Moore praised him for bringing authenticity and pride to his role, especially during a time when Native American actors were often limited to stereotypes. He shared memories of Silverheels' dry humor, calm presence, and unwavering professionalism. Moore also expressed regret that Hollywood didn't recognize Silverheels' talent more fully, and that the industry offered him limited opportunities. Jay was a trailblazer, Moore said. He played Tonto with such integrity that he lifted the character beyond stereotype. A final tribute. In his tribute, Moore acknowledged that their friendship was not always close, but it was built on mutual respect and shared responsibility. He admitted that the pressures of fame and the demands of their iconic roles often left little room for personal bonding. Yet he emphasized that Silverheels remained essential to the show's heart and soul. "I may have worn the mask," Moore said, "but Jay was the soul of the show." His words were a rare and powerful acknowledgement of a partnership that had shaped American television. Moore's final confession revealed not only his deep appreciation, but also his understanding of Silverheels' legacy as a pioneer for Native American representation in Hollywood. Outro: The Legacy That Endures. Clayton Moore died on December 28, 1999, at age 85, following a heart attack at his home in Calabasas, California. He was survived by his wife Clarita and his adopted daughter Dawn. He was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, where fans still visit to honor the man behind the mask. Moore's life was defined by loyalty, honor, and a commitment to the values he portrayed. In breaking his silence about Jay Silverheels, he offered the world a deeper understanding of a partnership that was both groundbreaking and heartfelt. Today, their legacy lives on, not just in the old episodes of The Lone Ranger, but in the timeless message of justice, friendship, and respect that they embodied together.